Hello and welcome to the match reports, hosted, of course, by Free Midfield, Cahill, Kojo, to my left, on the right on my screen, whichever way you want to see it. How you doing, sir?
I am. Oh, what the hell's going on there? I am good. I'm good, bro. How you doing?
A lot of technical issues. That's so it's a bit of a up and down situation. I'm using the old mic. I shouldn't hold this. I should leave it here, but I think the stand's gone. So fuck it, to be honest with you. But Dash, how you doing, sir, man?
I'm good, my bro. I am good behind the scenes. You know how it is, man. We just been chopping it out, busting jokes. So yeah, man, all good. Love having me, guys.
Always welcome, sir. Of course, of course. Look at that! Look at that beautiful shirt. Look at that beautiful shirt. Wearing it with pride this season. Dash, can you imagine that? Wearing it with pride.
With pride, not just not wearing it needlessly. We're wearing it with
Bruv.
pride. You know what I mean?
Bruv.
Like I could pull it on. No one could be saying to me like, "Oh, why are you wearing that?" I'm just like, "Yo, mind your
I'm an
business."
Arsenal fan. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. Top of the league. Look, see, I've got the Arsenal Christmas jumper with the
I
Dennis
see.
Bergkamp. Boom.
Come
There we
on.
go.
It's
There we
cold,
go.
bro.
Sorry.
It's cold. Let me not lie.
It's a nice jumper.
All jokes
It's a nice-
aside, that's a cold jumper. Let me not lie.
That's a
That
nice
is-
jumper.
It is
Yeah.
beautiful.
They got a what's it? They got a Celtic one. They got a Larson one now. I'm gonna get that because it looks banging. It looks banging. But
Hey,
anyway,
no rules.
we're not here to promote classic t-shirts, though, are we? We're here to talk about the Premier League up and running. What's going on right now, and where better to start than on Saturday with. Here we go. Let's get the fixtures. I did say we're better for Manchester City. They won without Haaland this weekend, Kojo. So that's a
Did it?
benefit. It was 1-0. It was a very tough fought victory. I think Leicester gave a good account of themselves, but if Haaland ain't scoring, one of the other 5 world-class attacking players on their team is going to get the goal, and Kevin De Bruyne with a wonderful free kick, man.
Yeah, I think people are asking the question: are they too dependent on him? I'm like, well, have you forgotten what they were doing without him? The worry was what they're gonna do with him added to what they do already. So they did what they did. Look, Leicester at home is always going to be dodgy. They always create chances. Harvey Barnes will create chances. Dewsbury Hall, Vardy, the list goes on and on. But what City do so well is, like you said, they got players that just know how to make the difference, and there's many of them. And the chief operator is Kevin De Bruyne. No matter what Haaland does, there's still the main man of the show right now, and that's Kevin De Bruyne because he's been the main man of the show for many years. That free kick was sensational. And what made it so sensational was Danny Ward's dive was so good. Anywhere just a bit more to the right of that goal, and he's making a wonderful save. So the fact that Kevin De Bruyne hit so perfectly, so it hits the post and in, like that in that corner, it's a beauty of a free kick. But that's what City do, and that's what they'll continue to do. They're not dependent on Haaland. What they're doing is Haaland is an absolute potent goal scorer, so they're feeding him as many chances as possible because he will finish them. Like not even 9 out of 10 times, 9.5 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what they've been doing over recent time. But Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo, less so Mahrez this time, but I'll talk about that another time. Julian Alvarez is coming into his own slowly as well. Like, they got quality, man. So, yeah, man, a well-fought win, but that's what you got to do to maintain the title charge, isn't it?
Maintain the title charge as well. I mean, Dash, as the other team that's in that title charge, how much do you worry about City going forward? I don't think they're gonna be up there when it comes to May. That's where Arsenal's gonna be, right there, right, Dash? That's what you're gonna say, right?
Well, I believe we will be up there, but listen, Man City are like rice and stew in it, right? It bangs, but then when you add the meat, the chicken, that's Haaland. Like it's just tops it in it. So you know yourself, if Haaland is not playing, they're still capable of doing what they're doing. I think it's not just Man City that have been in that situation where they've not performed well, but they've got a point. I mean, they've got all 3 points. I'm seeing that the run into before the World Cup, you've seen a lot of teams obviously suffering from somewhat fatigue. I think a lot of teams have gone really all out at the beginning half of this season. And you can see like whether it be injuries, where you can see players obviously tiring out mentally as well. Some players are they've got an eye on Qatar already. So they might not be trying to push themselves, fear of injury. So it's just another testament of Man City that they can go to Leicester and get a result, because Leicester are also been performing, like they've been getting a couple of results. They're in a bit of an ascendancy themselves. So yeah, man, when you got quality like that, like we said, man, the free kick's a perfect free kick, right in the corners, gone into the post. And you're saying that if the keeper moved he would have licked the post. You know what I mean? If he dived any further than he did. So yeah, Man City are doing what they're doing. I think with Arsenal, if we're still in and around Man City, we're just doing ourselves a great service. So yeah, man, that's a team for us to obviously inspire to be like.
I mean, 37 goals already. What is it? We win the third month of the season, so they're pretty much on course to get 100 goals. 17 of them come from their striker and Haaland.
I was just about to ask, like, how many?
Yeah, 17. 17. Haaland's got 17. So when you put it like that, it looks like it makes sense that they might struggle to get a goal.
The crazy thing about it, next game, if Haaland just gets 3 goals, that's 20 already. Like, and
I know.
capable. It's ridiculous. In one game, he can easily get 20 goals. How many games we played this so far this season? What, 14, 15?
Yeah.
We're match week 15 now.
12. City played 12.
12 games. So 12 games, and he could easily get 20 goals in the next game or two. That's ridiculous. Like, that's the type of things that you say, I wish my striker, we don't mind if you get a striker that can get at least 20 goals in the season. You wish.
Like when you put it into context, like Harry Kane has been battling up this league for a number of years now, and he's on 10 goals right now, and 10 and 12 is very, very, very good. You know what I'm saying?
Very good.
So the fact that this guy is on 17, almost, I mean, we're basically, let's put it like this: we're very lucky that there's a World Cup break. When I say lucky, I'm saying that at least we've got from November to December where there's a break, because there's very, 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 very much a chance that if the league had continued as normal from now to the end of December, he's on 30. And
listen, the thing about he ain't even going World Cup. How about that?
Exactly, he's resting.
He's not even going. He's resting. He'll be itching.
I mean, let's get into that though. Obviously, yes, I do agree that he will be resting. Will be well rested when the league returns again, but he won't be match fit. So, and we did see that when he one game against, again, and it was against Liverpool in the Charity Shield. He did take a while to get not used to the speed of the Premier League, but just match fit in general. So maybe are we saying that he takes a break?
This guy
from scoring.
He's on standby.
You
know when your laptop, you press the button, just standby. It's not completely off. He's just chilling. So I think
we're hoping so. I think they'll play some games, because Man United have already announced that they'll play some friendlies. So I'm sure City will do the same thing to keep him going.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is fine for them. He's. But the thing is, bro, if it takes him one game to get ready, that is long. So it's just one of the ones where we just gotta sit there and say, you know what, let's see what happens. He's in top form, but City are in top form as always. They won without him, so the praise should go to them without him winning, because everyone's thinking maybe it's not a dependent thing, and nah, same old City.
Well, the crazy thing is, when I'm just checking on the app now, when you go on the app and you check, like, obviously Harry Kane's number 2 in it. You see all the names below. So it just looks normal with Harry Kane with 10 goals. But then you see his picture at the top there, 17. And you realize, hold on a second, there's someone else above Harry Kane. It's crazy, man.
He's gonna smash records, man. It's insane.
Mate.
The guy's a robot. The guy's an absolute robot. But we need to move on from one money bags to another money bags. Honestly, I didn't expect to be talking about Newcastle this season that much. I thought they would have just chilled, maybe got a mid-table position, and then gone on to maybe Europa League next season. But they're back. They're in there for the battle for the Champions League as well. And they beat Aston Villa by 4-0. Goals from Callum Wilson, Joe Linton, and Miguel Almiron, who's on having a season of his life, whilst Jack Grealish is just chilling with his words that he said, regretting them now, I bet. But no, Kojo, man. We'll come to you, Dash.
Yeah.
What? They're smoking something up there, aren't they?
Do you know what, man? Credit to Eddie Howe, man. credit to Eddie Howe and credit to the owners of Newcastle as well, because they've clearly taken heed to maybe even things like in the past where Man City came and they just tried to get the Robinhos and this player and that player. They've just thought to themselves, we need someone to steady this ship. We need someone to be able to utilize what we've got right now. And you know, we gave Eddie Howe enough praise at Bournemouth. So to say that we're surprised that he's doing a wonderful job will be probably a disservice to Eddie Howe, because you know we gave him enough praise at Bournemouth. So to see him doing what he's doing, and he's just got the spirit, man, up there at Newcastle, man. That one club, one team, one, you know what I mean, everything up there. The fans are on that are with you. And why, like, if you're a player, there's actually no better place to play, man. If you know, those are diehard fans right there. So the energy is rife. And also, I like what Eddie Howe said over the weekend, because they were asking him about Almiron, and it's like, what have you done different? Like, have you been coaching? He's like, no, man, the credit's to him. You know what I mean? I'm just giving them the opportunity to be in the right environment to play, but everything else is on them. So it just shows you the spirit is just high there. So, you know, they're definitely going to be in the European spot. And I don't think it's a wild notion to say that, you know, Champions League spot as well, that, you know, they can come for that as well.
He's got a good mixture of sort of technical quality with physicality in that team. So you got someone like Dan Burn, who I thought would be the dominant centre back alongside Botman, and you know, target left back rather. You've got Fabian Schär, centre back with Botman, and what Dan Burn is doing is not only being a physical presence down the left, but he's actually so gifted on the ball as well. He's tidy with the ball. He's a good passer of the ball. He reads the game well. And that midfield, the Joe Linton thing is still working, and it's crazy because obviously, you know, he was obviously bought as a striker. We all knew he before he came to Newcastle, he did his thing for 1 year at his previous clubs. They split for £40 million. It didn't work as a forward. They're like, oh, this is a waste of money, man. He's fumbled, like, but he's sort of reinvented as a midfielder, as more of a box-to-box, as the engine. And because he's got that physicality as well, it's tough to go shoulder to shoulder with that guy as well. He's very strong, but on top of that, not only being strong and being good with the ball, well, he's good with the ball because he's a forward. I'm not saying midfielders and defenders are not. What I'm saying is he's a lot more confident going forward with the ball because he has more of an idea of what he wants to do. And Callum Wilson one of those players we can talk about when he retires, in terms of like, not saying that he's one of the best, but what I'm saying is he's someone that, you know, is just a potent goal scorer. And if he wasn't injured as often as he is, he's hitting, at least he could be hitting 20 a season. He's that good. He is that good. And Mickey Almiron, listen, if someone talking trash like that guesses you to the point where you come and talk, listen, and do your thing on the pitch, then so be it. The quality of goals he scored in this month alone is insane. It's not about the goal scoring, it's the quality of the goals. He's scoring different types of goals. He's beating players for fun, you know.
Man's taking it for like it's the MLS.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because that's what he was doing at MLS. He found his partner when they used to do the fusion celebration together and Z. And he's just found a groove, man. And I'm happy for him as well, because he came with a big reputation for the Newcastle fans. They're excited to have someone that's attacking the way he is, sort of like how much they love to enjoy the performances of Ben Arthur. He was inconsistent, but when he turned it on, you know what I'm saying? And Almiron was starting to find his groove now, and if you can find a consistency, they found a player. So
I think he's found a consistency, to be honest. But the thing that doesn't surprise me is the fact that he's now playing in an attacking system. When he came, he had what's he? I think it was Rafael Benitez, who was defensive, who's just trying to survive. Then he went to Steve Bruce, and bloody hell, we all know how bad Steve Bruce plays, and I can guarantee the Newcastle fans also know how bad Steve Bruce plays. But now this is the first time he's been able to, I don't know, push forward and express himself, and it makes all the sense in the world that he's well, I won't. It will make sense in the world that he's scoring. I don't say he's scoring this highly, because I think where is he in the
I think he's third or fourth.
He's got
7 goals in the league.
He's fifth. He's got 7 goals in the league. He's fifth in the scoring charts.
Fifth, okay.
And maybe he got 2 last season. Maybe I'm not even sure if he even reached that. So he's already doubled it. He's on the road to triple it. he will be one of the top scorers at the end of the season. All power to him, man. He's like you did say, he did come in with a reputation, and he did get a lot of stick for that reputation. Now he seems to be thriving, and yep, long may for Newcastle fans, long may it continue. For the rest of the league, it might be long, but to a team that was battling relegation last season to a team that's going to get relegated this year, Bournemouth to they get relegated. Now let's
the segue.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I agree, but bloody hell, they're getting relegated. That's simple as. If you can't hold a 2-0 2-0 at home.
You know when you're just watching the game, you're like, you know, you're rubbing your hands, you're happy because let's not kid ourselves. As Arsenal fans, you've seen Tottenham win. That's just as good enough as a win for you as well. So lose, sorry. And I just don't understand. They sat back until it was done for them. It was inevitable. As soon as Spurs got the goal back, got the second one, they was gonna win the game.
No, but Dash, Ryan Sessegnon,
bro.
Ben Davies,
Bentacle,
bro,
got the goals, and they got the goals from corners.
They had
almost, like that header.
For the corner, it was like 17 corners or something like that. It was like
ridiculous. Yes, that's because Spurs played dire football. That's why. That's why they're getting so many corners. But that header, that's to make it 2-2, sums it up. What the hell was that goalkeeper doing, Kojo, man? Flapping like that. That's insane.
Yeah, when you come for the ball, you need to make sure you're getting there. That's as simple as it comes. Mark Travers, don't get me wrong. I think, firstly, before I get onto him for this game, I think he's had a decent season, considering the players that are ahead of him. I say the players. Chris, there's one or two in particular, but just no names. But the point being, it's going to be a difficult season for him and for Bournemouth. Bournemouth don't have a good side, in my opinion, strong enough to stay in the Premier League. I think they overachieved even getting promoted last year, to be honest. So, you come with a reputation, but look, you're 2-0 up at home. The one thing you don't want is your players to fall back, and I think Bournemouth falling back was the reason why he crumbled. I think usually we're used to goalkeepers of that reputation being good because they face so many shots that they have to be on the job all the time. And I think at some point his weaknesses came to the table, and they all came from set pieces. But I think the key reason why they lost that and why he suffered is because as soon as, and it's weird, Spurs brought on Lucas Moura at halftime. That did niche, by the way. But then he brought on Bentancur, fair enough, and Eric Dyer, and they fell back from that. And I don't understand.
Couldn't believe it.
I don't understand because Dyer was so far forward that he shouldn't be there. He shouldn't. The way Tottenham set up in general is quite defensive. So Dyer has no business.
Quite. All right then.
I'm trying to be, trying to be kind to people.
Don't, bro. They play shit football.
Very defensive. They sit back and they hope for counterattacks. So the one thing you should have been doing is just trying to dominate the ball. I understand you're trying to stop a counterattack, but from the first minute to about the 65th minute, Spurs did niche with the counterattacks. So you had them in your possession. You were doing well for set pieces as well. Kiefer Moore was causing trouble for the Spurs centre backs. Continue doing what you're doing. And Gary Neal, he's been getting results. So people are saying maybe he deserves a permanent job. This is a game why he's not going to get the permanent job.
Yeah, but who's going there? Like who wants a guarantee relegation on their record, please?
Good question.
They're still struggling for ownership, though, ain't they? They ain't sorted that out yet. So it's like the chicken or the egg kind of situation, isn't it? Which is first? Like, do they sort out the ownership or do they sort out the management? Man, they did. Was it Scott Parker that was there? Was it Scott Parker?
It was, yeah.
They done him dirty. But I rate Scott Parker because he told him straight, like, brother, if you want me to do the business here, you need to. This ain't gonna work. You can't just scrape. And like, I've been here with Fulham before. I know how we need to survive. And he bounced, man. And they can't give my guy the job because that 2-0 down and then just dropping the points like that is ridiculous.
I think what's right with everybody here is not the fact that it was Kane and Son that did it.
I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. When I saw the scorers, I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, yeah, Kane, Son, they're back on it. You know, Kane, you're just gonna hear all of that. Ben Davis, Ryan Sessegnon. Look at the names. They shouldn't be on score sheets. Like, what? How? For you to win, Bentancur. Come on.
It was a horrible ricochet to just get the second chance that got. And they are horrible at defending corners, man. Absolutely horrible.
Can you imagine being in the change rooms? You're sitting down and you're actually realizing that the goal scorers, you can't even talk and say like, oh, you know what? Kane gave me a hard game today. So the quality of these strikers, you know, when you're doing the post-match interview, you know, they've got quality strikers there, you know, they've done us. No, bro. It's got some back end defenders scoring against you.
Let me tell you what, though. Tottenham's luck is running out fast. It ran out against Arsenal. Man. It ran out against Arsenal. Against Man United, should have run out more than it did because Hugo Lloris was on one. There's going to be a team that gives them a hiding. They are due. They're due one hell of a hiding because you can't play like that and keep getting away with results. I'm sorry. It can't run. At some point, someone's going to smack them and smack them hard. And I'm interested to see what Conte does from there because this football is... I understand why he does it. It's worked for him domestically.
It's working for him though, Kojo, man. It's working for him.
No, it's working, but he's also making comments like, and which is true, by the way, I agree with him. He needs a lot more before this team can compete. We know this, like it's factual. So I'm thinking it's working, but for how long?
Don't you think it's sorry to cut you off? Don't you think it's like he did this last season? You know, he came publicly.
He does it every season.
And you know, criticized Tottenham, you know, criticized the board, and he got the charge from the players. Like, I just think it's just another push to just get the best out of the players. Because
is it a push? I don't know, but I guess it's not like they didn't spend this transfer window. They spent money. They bought in players. The players that they bought in.
Good players.
I don't think they're good players. I don't think Richarlison's particularly good. Perisic is past his prime. Yeah, Basuma, okay, but he's still trying to find his feet at Spurs. Jid Spence, he's young. He's young, but apparently he doesn't like him. So, I mean, he bought in players. I don't get where he's trying to complain from. Yes, he's going to need more, but every team needs more players. Yeah. I think the only team that's complete is Manchester City. So I don't understand where he's complaining from.
But this is the thing: if he didn't want Jed Spence, that shows that is not completely his transfer business. That could be the issue.
Yeah, but when is it ever in modern football the manager's complete? I understand there might be an agreement, but it's never just the manager that makes decisions on transfers anymore.
Absolutely not. But you know, I think when he came into the job, because he rejected him one time. He told them in that previous summer, like, I'm not coming to your club because you're not giving me what I want. You're not giving me my coaches. You're not giving me this, that, and the other. He came in, then they got him Kulusevski and a couple of others. Like, I think he has been given the same sort of promises that Jose Mourinho was given, but Mourinho doesn't have the patience. And they lack patience, both of them. But Mourinho's a lot more lacking in patience than Conte. You know, because he was speaking from like week 4. Yeah, I mean, his time at Tottenham, you know what I'm saying? So I just think he started to get a bit pissed off, and it's going to show because Jed Spence, I think anyone, whether you're a Tottenham fan or not, Emerson Royale should not be starting off with Jed Spence on Matt Doherty.
Chicken Royale.
So you're doing it on purpose. I'm sorry, but at this point, you're doing it on purpose.
It's his own detriment as well. He was 2-0 down at Bournemouth, you know.
Bro, did you see that? I went to Kel's house and he saw the video that I showed him before, but I showed him again.
Yeah.
Of Emerson Royale going forward and trying this pirouette volley that just went for like a Johnny Wilkinson try into a kick. Kind of just absolute nonsense. The guy is a detriment to that team. He's not good.
You see, he's no look pass.
He's not good.
He's no look pass, boy. Like the passing to a player, the player's like, "What are you doing, bro? I'm not even running there. Like, I don't even know what you just saw right there. Try looking next time." It's mad. No, but you know what it is? I was just saying that, like, I don't want to fall into this trap again with Conte, because I just feel like he purposely knows what he's doing with this tactic, with the style of play that he's doing. And yes, like, you know, Kay, you just said that every manager's gonna want more in terms of the players. He's gonna still scream at the board to get what he wants, but essentially he knows what he's dealing with. He knows what he has, and he knows what he doesn't have, and he's gonna rinse it. He's gonna rinse it, man. He's going to play this style and get the results throughout this season. I guarantee it. And we're going to be left there moaning, but this is on purpose. It's by design. It's just the fact that it's disgusting. Like, it's like anti-football. It's almost like, all right, cool, rope-a-dope. You know, like, just punch me up, punch me up, punch me up. The team gets tired from the first half, and then because they've got the energy, because they've got the fitness, and because they've got the players such as Son and Kane, they rely on that fact that, you know what, we can still get the goals in the second half. I honestly believe that, and it's just disgusting to just see that they're third playing this style of football, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're third because of Harry Kane, and that's the because Son's not had a great season this year. But I do wonder how long the Spurs fans are going to take at this, because they're not. So let's get some facts out of the way. They're not winning the league. They're not winning the Champions League. If they go down to the Europa League, extremely tough considering the opposition that have also dropped down into the Europa League, and it will be battle of the defensive titans if Spurs and Atletico Madrid somehow will probably be the most boring match ever. But no. But so I don't think they're winning anything in Europe. Plus, Conte doesn't have the pedigree in Europe either. Are they going to win a cup? No. So what leaves that for Spurs fans? Because I don't think they're going to want to see this style of football for much longer if it doesn't yield results.
Yo, that game against Marseille is going to be critical for them.
It's going to be very critical.
I watched the game at the White Hart Lane Stadium, and Marseille were all over Spurs. If it wasn't for the sending off, could have been a different result. So lose that game, they're definitely touching Europa. And what would that then do for their belief in the manager? Mentally, like dropping into Europa, would that affect them in the league, basically? So it's going to be interesting to see.
Going to be very interesting to see indeed. What was also interesting was Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Wow.
Did not see that coming. I mean, what? Graham Potter going back to Brighton, to the Amex, and getting absolutely torn apart. Absolutely. When Leandro Trossard with a fantastic goal. It was absolutely great. The skill to take it past Kepa, who's been brilliant this season, and just slot into the bottom right corner. Loftus-Cheek own goal. Which Kojo enjoyed. Chalobah own goal. Havertz pulled one back, and then Pascal Gross pretty much wrapped up in the 92nd minute. Game was pretty much done, but made it 4-1. Kojo, I mean, duo humbling is something that is a phrase that we use quite a bit. But he was duo humbling because they were playing pretty well. They were flying high, but sometimes you need to be brought back down to earth. And boy, they were brought right back down to earth.
This game annoyed me because this is what Man United showed down to them at Stamford Bridge. In the first half, we killed them and we didn't tuck them to bed. So when this game came forward, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought they were gonna get like a draw. I didn't think they were gonna win or lose. But boy, they got a smacking. And the pimp hand. They got the pimp hand. And it was just, it was one of those ones where I think with Graham Potter coming back, the players were a bit more fired up more than anything. They just wanted to prove a point. Because Brighton are a good side. They've been good this season. They were good last season as well. So I think with Potter coming back, they were just saying, look, we're still a quality side without you, and Trossard will continue to produce, as will Gross as well. They're still being so instrumental for them this season. So quality performance. And it was good for Zerbi as well because this is his first win. Obviously, since he took over Potter, he hasn't won a game. So now you're facing the former manager. You also technically have a point to prove as well. And the fact that he got the win so emphatically, it's that Terminator video of you're not comfortable in your own ends. You're not comfortable. I'm around. Gave him that. Yeah. These are my ends now. Yeah. They're not around no more. And who do you think that's because of? So honestly, it was a fantastic win. As for Chelsea, I'm still not convinced by them. And the reason why I'm not convinced is because they still seem a bit toothless going forward. They still seem like lost for ideas. There isn't a cohesion between a front three for them yet. They've got a lot of players going forward: Mount, Sterling, Aubameyang, Broha, Ziyech, and there isn't a partnership building between any three or any two, or any four if you want to do like a 4-2-3-1 kind of thing. And they're missing influential midfielders, aka Kante. So there is a bit of trouble there. They obviously signed centre backs and they're injured. Koulibaly's injured. Fofana injured. Reece James injured. So they're struggling. And it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a while before we see Potter's work really come to effect at Chelsea for what he's trying to do. So they're gonna have to take these losses. But yeah, man, what a smacking they got.
I mean, Dash, anything to add on what Coach just said there?
I think it's tough for Graham Potter right now because he's in a job where instantly you need to show what you're about. Like, this is the big boys now. This is the big leagues, big trousers you're gonna have to wear. You know what I mean? Put your big boots on. And he's gone in there, and the moment he's still trying to figure himself out, man. I'm hearing that they're calling him the new thinker man. You know what I mean? Like yeah, man. He's right now. He's even turning around and saying that he doesn't really deal with formations. It's just about it's vibes. Just go out there, do your thing. No, but it just seems like that at the moment. I see my guy Sterling playing as like an auxiliary, like wing back, like almost. This is a guy that needs to be up there making late runs, tap-ins. Use him accordingly. This is. I mean, I feel sorry for certain players, man, at the moment that are. And the thing about it, like, you're at Chelsea with a load of stars, egos, winners, champions, and then they'll look at you. You ain't got no gold medals. You ain't got no, you ain't got no trophies. And they'll be like, do you actually know what you're doing here? So he's going to have to really get to grips with this team quickly because you know how Chelsea are, man. They're on this player power tip that no matter who's at Chelsea, they're on this play. The mandate is there in the dressing room. Like, it tells you how to, get onto the manager. So, yeah, man, Graham Potter, he's going to have to buck up his ideas real quick because I don't think there's going to be time for him at Chelsea, regardless of how long has he signed for? Was it?
It's like probably 3 years. I imagine if you were to sign, well, the thing is yes, it is Chelsea, but it's a different Chelsea. It's not Abramovich Chelsea anymore. It is Bowley's Chelsea, and we don't know how long he's going to give him.
5 years. 5 years.
Okay.
5 years.
Is that like a 3 with a 2, or is that a straight 5?
No, maybe straight 5. So there you go.
Well,
it's on the website. Yeah.
Chelsea wouldn't even care if they sacked him tomorrow and paid off his contract.
The fans will. I guarantee the fans will. But if you're going to get Potter, then you're going to have to at least buy into the idea of his style of play and who he wants. He doesn't have that team right now. I guarantee he doesn't have that team right now, and he's going to take a good few transfer windows before he gets that team in. Before we can see Chelsea, I don't know. I wouldn't say challenging for the title again. I think they've got a limited time window on that because they just can't match the power of Newcastle or Manchester City. But to get a guaranteed top 4, I think if you give Potter the time, he might be able to get you there. Maybe, I'm not sure, but it all depends on how top Bowley is. He was a bit cruel with what's his face, the previous manager.
Tuchel.
It was a bit cruel, especially considering that he had won the Champions League in the previous 2 years. But I guess he wanted to make his mark, and he wanted to get his man. And I believe he believes his man is Graham Potter. So I think he'll be given time. Time is not on Liverpool's side right now because they are they're drifting. all the way down. It is getting back to the banter era because it was Liverpool 1, Leeds 2, Moreno, Salah, and Somerville in the 89th minute. You can see on the bottom right of the screen. Boy, Kojo. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think this was the first defeat since at Anfield since 2021 or something like that. So a long time to go undefeated at home. And of all teams to get that, I feel like you're about to play something. You about to play something?
You just keep going, man. Keep going.
Okay. Of all teams to lose to, it's the team that's fighting relegation. You don't want to be them, but it was. And yeah, what's your thoughts on it, Kojo?
It's a beautiful summer's day. It is stupendous. I want to dance. Let me show you how.
Hey, listen, I have been waiting for this downfall. Oh, this is beautiful. There's so much to unravel here. Firstly, the Virgil van Dijk and so let's just put that in the bin right now. He is not the Undertaker.
It's 21 and 1, bro.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
The streak is over.
Shout out Leeds did a TikTok about that as well with Van Dijk. It's his face story. So yeah, beautiful. There's a lot to unravel here, and Klopp is starting to run out of ideas, man. When I say run out of ideas, not only tactically but excuses for his team. They're not just not playing well, and this is the first time for me in a while that he's been honest about his team and said they just didn't defend well. Simple as that. The first goal is a comical joke. Joe Gomez, if you're gonna pass the ball back to your goalkeeper, look up, please. As in, like, look up and see where he is. Because if you pass it and you don't know where he is, you don't know where the ball's going. Case in point, you pass it straight into the path of Rodrigo. But there's something that's missing throughout all that criticism that people have given of Joe Gomez for that goal. There's something that is missing from that. Mm-hmm. And step forward, Virgil van Dijk. Because when that ball was passed back, he was still chilling. As in, you can see the ball's going nowhere near your goalkeeper, so you need to be active. You need to be saying, okay, this is a wayward pass, and it's going towards my goal. So I just need to get there quickly and just deal with it. And maybe just have a quick look, and then just do my thing. He stood there. Rodrigo ran past him. He looked and went, oh, shit. He's here. Okay.
I'm gonna come to his defense there.
Go on.
Nobody and their mum believed that pass was gonna be that bad. That was a horrible pass. Absolutely. If you're gonna blame Van Dijk for the second goal, but that pass was horrendous.
Van Dijk is not at fault for Joe Gomez's stupidity. I'm just saying that in situations like that, you just have to be a bit more alert. This is the highest level. You're known as the best defender in the game. So, the pressure levels are different, unfortunately. That's the point I'm trying to make. But Joe Gomez, look, I've spoken enough about that guy. I don't need to talk about him anymore, man. That's just where's he from?
He was meant to be giving Southgate ideas because of that one game,
Where's he from? Let's call him Birmingham Bramble for today. Guy's not serious, man. So he's not good. The second goal. Now, element of luck. I think Bamford's touch was not supposed to be that kind of touch. But again, Van Dijk is in front of him. This is the way he is at fault, absolutely. Now, you're in front of Somerville. And the thing is, so close to your goal, you have to engage him. You just have to do it. Whether you concede a penalty or something, that's part of the game. But you have to engage him. In this situation, I think you're in front of him. You just have to step out and say, I'm here. You're not getting past me. If you're going to shoot, it's going to have to go through me. I'm going to block it. And he made no attempt whatsoever to defend that. I did not see an attempt to defend that. And this has been a theme of Liverpool's throughout the season. I don't know if it's an arrogance thing. I don't know if it's a comfortable thing. I don't know. I'm trying to unravel it because I don't want to just, use terms to just cuss them out. But the point being, every goal that they've conceded this season, you can always say that is an error from somewhere where it's very avoidable. And the right side of the defense, including Van Dijk, because I know he's on the left side, but he hasn't been in the best of form either. It's so shaky. It's so exposed. We know Trent's job is to go forwards when he plays. Henderson's not covering him anymore. I don't know if he's got the engine for that anymore. Fabinho has been super complacent in his position as a defensive midfielder. They don't have a consistent partner on the left side because Thiago, you don't know if he's going to be fit or not. And I don't know if it's because Robertson is struggling with fitness or what, but him and Tsimikas keep swapping. So there's no consistency in that back line. And that's another issue as well. Alisson's the only one that can step up with his head up high in that defense, because I really can't fault him for anything. If I'm being honest, he saves when he can save. And when he can't save, it's because it's a good goal or he's not been given much of a chance because he's not being backed enough. There's a lot to unravel at Liverpool, and this is why every time we get Liverpool fans on the podcast this season, I keep asking what's happening, because every time they get a win, they think that's the kickstart. You beat Man City and then lose to Nottingham Forest and then Leeds. What's happening? On a real, what's happening? It's becoming a bit of a joke, and this is where Klopp has to be answered as well, because before I shut up. Even the tactical decision with Salah's a lot more wider than he is as well. He's the most potent goal scorer. What's the most potent goal scorer doing so far away from the goal? Is it just to accommodate Nunez? Because I think that's a mistake. I think if you get Nunez in there, he'll still score some goals, regardless of where Salah is. But if Salah is your best goal scorer, get him as close to the goal as possible. And not doing that either. So there's a lot to unravel at Liverpool right now. It's becoming a comical thing, because you can't be beating Man City 1-0 and then losing to Forest, with all due respect, but losing to Forest and Leeds, nah, not good enough.
Not good enough, Dash. Let's talk about Nunez as well, man, because I feel like it's unfair to compare him to what Haaland's doing right now, because what Haaland's doing on a completely different level. But he was there to try, one, to add to the goals that were missing from Sadio Mane, but two, to get them firing and keep them at least at the same level as Manchester City. But boy, I mean, he had a glorious opportunity there, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he just absolutely smashed it in the middle of his chest. And it makes, I don't know, is it a confidence thing? Is he still taking time to adjust? I don't know with Nunez.
First and foremost, we can scrap that comparison with Haaland.
Yeah.
So that can no longer be used as an excuse. Second, he's on his own 2 feet right now. All he just needs to do is just, perform. I'll give him credit in terms of like he's got very good movement. You can see what he's trying to do. He gets into the right spaces. So if anything you can take away from that is like he's trying. He's doing what he can do. It's nothing worse that you got a player and you think to yourself, oh, he hasn't got good movement. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. He's doing the basics apart from being able to finish. He's not ice cold in front of goal. He's at the moment, he will score like the most difficult chance, but then when it's the easy chance, he just doesn't have ice in his veins. The composure is not there right now. You can see like he was jittery. The ball's been played into him. He's run on first touch. The first touch wasn't too bad. It's the second touch, obviously, has taken him. He's tried to cut it back. He's slipped. He's fallen over. That is a sign of a man that's just got too much on his mind right now in terms of what he wants to do. The other night, point blank in front of goal, he's hit the post. The other one, Salah, of all people, I thought he was going to be greedy when he got that ball and he was tussling with the defender. He's actually then passed it. And you know what it is? If you remember, when Nunez didn't pass to him, and it was an obvious pass to give him, I think Salah was like, all right, I'm going to show you how it's done. When you're in a better space, I'm going to give you the ball. Just finish it. When he didn't finish, I don't know if you can see this on YouTube or whatever, the look on Salah's face was typical. We've all been there, like Sunday League or whatever. You look at the man, you're like, brother, I passed you the ball for this. Like, I should have just been greedy. And it's a confidence thing, man. The thing about being a striker is just like, if you can get in and around the goals, you boost your confidence. So he's still got that to gain from this season. He just needs to score goals. But the longer that he's not scoring goals, missing those kind of chances, it's going to affect him. So back to your point, I think it is definitely a confidence thing. The Premier League is no joke. This is not the Portuguese league. Week in, week out, you have to perform. And where the obvious thing is, and as well as many people or Liverpool fans will turn around and say, "Oh, we're not really missing Mane. It's not the Mane thing. It's injuries and stuff." They're missing Mane, man. They are missing Mane, and the goals that Mane was scoring, and it's now showing like you need that type of player, because it wasn't just the goals, it was the trickery, it was the runs, it was the presence, and yeah, man, it's a major miss, and you can see that it's weighing heavy on Nunez's shoulders right now.
From let's get to Sunday, because it was a beautiful day Sunday. The sun was shining, the birds were singing. Arsenal were winning 5-0. Boy, I wanted us to buy a team. I'm sorry, Forest, but it was them. Goals from Gary Martinelli. Reece Nelson came on for the injured Saka and bagged a brace. The guy we won't speak of scored a worldie, and Martin Odegaard as well. Boy, I'm gonna start with Reece Nelson because Dash.
Yeah,
to come on in that situation. Yes, it's Nottingham Forest, but I don't think he played for Arsenal in a while, or at least I think that was his first Premier League start this season as well. Or and to come on and to get 2 goals and 2 very good goals as well. The first one, very good finish, very good. One to get the first shot off, but 2 to remain alert, remain ready, and fire it into the top corner. Fantastic, and then the tap in, which was quite nice as well. What's your thoughts on Reece Nelson? Because there were comparisons to Jadon Sancho this season, and I don't get it. But
Cahill, Kojo, let me just say this, yeah.
He's gone already.
Oh, he's gone already. Tell him to come back. Come
back, Kojo. Come back.
Let me just say this, yeah. We witnessed for the first time ever a lumberjack match against Nottingham Forest. We chopped that forest down. Deforestation, someone going, like, we gave them the beat down, and it was so good to see the likes of Reece Nelson to come on, because we in Saka, he's pretty much one of our talisman, and obviously to have him come off, and I thought it was going to be the likes of Marquinhos was going to come on, or maybe even Vieira coming on, because he's played in the Europa League out there on the right, but to see Reece Nelson, and more so Arteta, ever since he's come to Arsenal, he's always bigged up Reece Nelson. And that's one thing that, as a player, when you've got a manager that has like high confidence in you, high praise, keeps boosting you, keeps giving, obviously, like we've been hearing good things about Reece Nelson in training. He's got his head down. He's obviously come back from his stint on loan and stuff like that, and still to be given the vote of confidence. Like, Saka's off right now. Go and do me the business, you know what I mean? Go and get yourself a goal out there, go and perform. And the 2 goals that he scored is definitely going to give him the world of confidence. The guy is a talented kid. He just needs the opportunity to be able to play and show his talents. Now, look, it's against Nottingham Forest. Yes, we understand that. But these are the games that you take opportunities. There's certain players that are not scoring against Nottingham Forest. There are certain teams that are not beating Nottingham Forest. So you get the likes of Reece Nelson coming on, scoring 2 beautiful goals. The composure with the first one, obviously, he's sent everyone to the shops with the first chop, and then it's come back to him, and he's placed it up top corner. And then the second goal, that's the type of goals that Jesus needs to be scoring. Like,
true.
He's made the run right in front of the defender, and he's nicked it in. So great confidence. If Saka is, as we're hearing, the injury might be not bad, but he might obviously miss a game or 2. Then listen, the space is there. We was trying to buy Rafinha to obviously shore up that right hand side, and then maybe you're thinking to yourself, like, Arteta and Eddie are thinking, look, we've got players in that position that can do well. So it's for him to take in it right now. If Saka's obviously will be injured for the next couple of games, right now it's for him to take that opportunity with both hands and run with it.
Kojo, I mean, there's been a lot of I wouldn't say disrespect, but disregarding of Arsenal and where they currently are. I'm not saying Arsenal are going to win the league. I think that's easy.
We're not saying that.
We're definitely not saying that. But Kojo, top 4 is nailed on, right?
The way it should be. I think I told you at the beginning of the season that Man City and one North London club will challenge for the title, and we'll find out within the first 10 games. I think it's quite clear who it is right now.
But when you were saying the North London club, you didn't have Arsenal in your mind.
I said one of the North London clubs because firstly, I think me and Cahill, we did speak about in a group channel. We did speak about the transfer windows, and we did say that Spurs had brought in some decent good players, but we weren't convinced by all of them. Because for Richarlison, for example, I thought that's more of a rotational thing, blah blah blah. And then when you guys brought Jesus, my thing was it's hard to judge him as a goal scorer because a lot of people were saying that, oh, will he be the guy to score goals for Arsenal? I'm like, well, he's competing with Aguero, so it's not really fair to give him a criticism saying he's not a goal scorer when he was behind one of the most potent goal scorers we've had in the league's history. So let's see what he's able to do. But more importantly to the point, even though you guys did finish 5th and Arsenal fans weren't happy because you kind of had 4th in your hands, the fact is, 1, you did improve from the previous year.
Yeah.
And 2, there's something building. You can see it. I still wasn't sure, don't get me wrong, but from the outside looking in, you could see something was building. I just couldn't say what it was. But there was something that also unconvinced me about Liverpool's transfer window that made me say, I don't think they're going to be in the title race this year. That was just my shot. But I said I won the North London clubs because I wasn't sure about Spurs signings, but I was sure about Conte's domestic excellence. And on the other side, I wasn't sure about Arteta, but I kind of was sure about how Arsenal are building a team and how good they can be. So it was like, okay, let's see who comes to the table more. And you guys so far, you're more at the table than they are. So far as you guys. But what's so good about Arsenal right now is, and the disrespect that you're talking about. Firstly, I think Arsenal fans have gone from being very cautious to just enjoying where they are right now. Because, you know, you guys would be like, even the top 4, you asked me about, you said the top 4, it should be nailed on. Last season, if you were in this situation, you'd be like, I still don't know, man. Like, the phone could drop. And even last year, when you were in the race for the top 4 and it was so much in your hands, after one result, you guys were like, oh no, is it going to happen again? And it did happen. But this is part of the ride. I think this season, there's a lot more swagger about your team. There's a confidence when they step out on the pitch, not only in the players, but in the fans as well. You can feel it around the stadium when you're going to watch Arsenal. And I think even in the away games as well, you can feel there's a different atmosphere. Arsenal seem a lot more dominant, they seem a lot more confident, and they bring that to the table every time. So you've gone from the days where, you know, you're facing a team like Forest. That would have been Hull years ago when Giovanni scoring that. Forest didn't have a sniff in this game. They weren't close to causing Arsenal any trouble, apart from Gabriel and one of his stupid passes. Other than that,
he has to have one bozo moment. He has to have a match, just one match.
That's just it's becoming a theme right now in every game. Apart from that moment, they had nothing. You know what I'm saying? And this is the whole point. So I think the disrespect of Arsenal will stop because you have built a very good team. There are players in your team that other teams fans would want in their team. They would want a Gabriel Jesus up top. They would want an Odegaard creating. They would want a Saka. They would want an explosive winger like Martinelli. They'd want someone that's improved so much in the midfield role like Xhaka has in his role. You know, Saliba has become a rock in the defense, you know, and that one was still an unknown entity as well, because even though Arsenal fans were happy with what it was doing in France, you don't know how that's going to translate to the Premier League. But he's taking it easy. So, and Ramsdale, look, when Ramsdale was moving to Arsenal, even linked, me and many others, I don't know, Dash, if you're one of them, many others were like, this guy.
I reserved my my judgment. I honestly did, because I was just for us to really, because you remember, like we it's not like, oh, we just went in and we just bought him straight away. We actually was like, oh, okay, you don't want 25, you don't want 30, okay, 35 here, take that. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, why? You know what I mean? So just thinking about the why are we after this goalkeeper, and why are we now subjecting Leno as the number 2? So I think it's just about taking yourself outside of the box and just actually thinking about it and just realizing, okay, something's happening. Just to touch on what you're saying about, like, you this is what I've liked about Arsenal, is like a year on and you can see further progression, you can see further growth. And when we were speaking about this at the back end of last season, although it was it was coming from, well, it seemed like it was coming from a place of just like, not sour grapes, but you're just trying to grab whatever you can to make yourself feel better. We were saying these things. We were saying like, yo, we've come from 8th, we've gone to 5th. That jump from 8th to Champions League 4th is a massive jump. Not many teams actually do that or are capable of doing that. You know what I mean? So although it hurt and it stung and we should have got top 4 last season, lesson learned. We've moved on from that. We've from the documentary you've seen, like, I'm sure that the players have seen that as well. They've seen that pain, that hurt, and now going into games and just like when it comes to second half and you're not performing properly, you go out there and you get the win or you get the W. The game against Leeds, we performed poorly, and you've seen what Leeds is doing. You've seen how well they're capable of playing. Whether or not they might be getting the results or whatnot, but that was a tough game. But we came from that and we won. Obviously the Southampton game, we should have won that game, but you're gonna get those type of games here and there. But yeah, man, I think if anything at the moment is just the growth, seeing these players a year on in their development. Martinelli, we was always crying out that he needs to have more end product.
Yeah.
Albeit goals, we need to see him, and now he's chipping in with the goals. He's rinsing fullbacks. Like, people are actually scared to play against Martinelli. And our goals are now being spread. Although Jesus is not scoring the goals that we thought maybe he'd be able to come and get, but now this season, Uncle Partey's scoring, Xhaka's scoring, Odegaard's chipping in once in a while, Saka once again, and then I can't even wait until Emil Smith-Rowe comes back and then he chips in as well again. You know what I mean? So if we can get goals in abundance, share that in the team, and then possibly Jesus finds his shooting boots, then boy, we're in a good path, man. We're in a good path, and I think like for Arsenal fans, we shouldn't be made to feel guilty about being happy and supporting our team in this way, because there's so many people like, oh, you're talking now. Well, what about last season? Rightfully so, we're talking now, but when we're saying we're talking now, we're supporting the team. We're happy to see where our team is, and we're not saying that we're going to win the league. But if you're on the coattails of Man City or even pushing them, you're standing in great space to make Champions League. So if you're in and around that type of company, there's you should be making Champions League.
Talking of the improvement as well, quickly as well, is you guys have done what I always say Spurs and Man United should be doing. Is the players that won't get you anywhere are now they're out of your way. You know what I mean? And the players that were destined to show that they want to make an improvement are the only ones that have stayed. And I'll always use the example of Aubameyang, like I said, and what I mean by that is Aubameyang, yes, the situation behind that was the reason why he left, behavior, everything. But the truth being told, for me, his goals did not lead Arsenal to the Champions League. That's what he was bought for. Lacazette and him were bought for Champions League football, and in their time there, they weren't bringing that for whatever reason. Whether they didn't score in the key moments, whether like I said, definitely didn't contribute enough goals to help that cause. But those kind of players, Leno, who started off okay and then fell into whatever kind of form he did, whether that's just his level, he's out of the way as well. Players like that have been just slowly and quietly, but very well done, shifted out bit by bit. And the players that are coming in are players that are confident. They want to play football. They want to play for the badge. They want to play for the team. They're ambitious. That's the key word for me. They're ambitious.
Mustafi, Papadopoulos, Ozil.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the names.
KO, can you believe? Look at the players that we had, man.
Bro, like,
Papadopoulos.
Man.
Socrates.
I forgot about that, Donny.
We had some shockers, and when we talk about, you see, like when we're seeing teams complaining about they ain't got this player or this injury or whatever, we've had all of that, But when we're Arsenal fans and we talk about that, we bring that to the forefront. You're making excuses. It's deemed as that you're making excuses. Arteta's come in and he's still had players from Wenger era.
Exactly.
Wenger era.
Exactly.
Unai Emery. Certain players that may have taken a shine to Ljungberg. And then you've got to come and dust all of that out and start again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's high praise for El Jefe, El Patron, Mikel Arteta. That's my guy. Look back to anything that you see me on, any podcast, you know that I've been a big advocate of this guy, a big supporter of Arteta. And it's not just because I'm trying to be funny or anything like that. I just made a decision to be like, look, man, we've got to support this manager. We've got, like, the board have chosen him. Then they've made it abundantly clear we're supporting this guy. So you just got to think to yourself, why? Why are you so keen on this guy? All right, give him the chance. Give him the chance of his duration, however long he's here for. In this time here, let's see what you can do. And the thing about it, like, as much as many people will say, like, oh, the FA Cup, you won it during a period of time, whatever, he still won something. And he gave that belief, whether that was the catalyst for him for the board to be like, no, you know what, this guy's got something about him. He's won something. He's continued on. He's definitely got the players on song. You got like people like Aubameyang obviously turning around and saying that, he wasn't able to deal with egos and stuff like that. No, that's not the question. He wants his guys. If you can't fall in line, you got to fall back. That's clearly it. You know what I mean? And
what I will say about those Aubameyang comments, just to be fair to him, because I don't think it's fair to him to do as a player, but just be fair to him. There are also a lot of Arsenal fans that were feeling that same way about Arteta. He was just very vocal about it. So, there you go. But at least the point being, and the same thing I asked about Ten Hag, when you have to deal with the biggest egos at some point, the way you deal with them will be your way, but the payoff is the payoff that you're looking for. That's the key thing.
But it's always gonna be seen that way, innit? Like if you don't buckle to the egos, it's automatically seen as you can't handle. You can't deal with them. Like, you can't just because you are somebody that's done. Football's about what have you done for me lately? Like let's that's the be all and end all of it. Like, you know what I mean? So if you're not doing something and the manager's like giving you chance after chance, you got to think about it like this. Yeah, this is my last point on Arteta. He fully supported Aubameyang, through his bad periods, loss of form. He supported and backed Aubameyang to the point where it's just like it wasn't for footballing reasons. It was imagine you shagged because of non-footballing reasons. Like, you know what I mean? So you had to go. The good thing about it, they didn't make it abundantly public, their rift or anything like that. Obviously, we've got more insight to it through the documentary, but just to touch on the last bit, is like I like the way Arteta's handled the situation with getting rid of players, getting his own players that we possibly thought that, well, what's going on? Your Ben Whites, your Ramsdales, all of those type of players, and he's brought in his guys that will play his way, and we've seen it, and it's working, and long it may continue. And let's see how far Arsenal can go, man. If we're able to get this league, I'm going to put this out in the universe. If we're able to get this league, it will be one of the most, it will be one of the most glorious days.
Hey, listen, man. Dash, if you win the league, you'll be co-hosting with Cahill, man.
You heard it here, guys.
Oh, my God.
I'm moving in. I got my bags packed.
There we go. Let's wrap it up there. Another important team to talk about, right?
Really? We doing that?
No, of course that we're going to talk about Manchester United. They beat West Ham at Old Trafford 1-0. Marcus Rashford header of all things. You can't put him in. He can't put him in with his feet, so he decided to use his head. And boy, it was a bullet header. Yeah, I think Marcus Rashford had a fantastic game. His best game this season, especially going forward. But at the end of the day, it was the David De Gea show in the last moments of the game. Kojo, I mean, he heard the news that he wasn't going to World Cup, and he decided to turn it on. Maybe if he turned it on never mind. Let's just praise him. Let's just praise him. David De Gea, still got it in him.
No, he's been good this season. So for me, I think what's his name? Luis Enrique has sort of had it out for him for a while now, saying that his idea was he doesn't play the way I want a goalkeeper to play. I'm like, what? Being your best shot stopper? I get he has deficiencies. He's not the most commanding when it comes to corners and set pieces in general, but he's a top goalkeeper, and he's been Spain's best goalkeeper for a number of years now. And this season he's been good. You can see the improvement in his passing. You can see the improvement in his approach to the way Arsenal, Man United are trying to play football. And gradually, you start to see the difference as well in the way he's playing. And his passes are a lot more confident. He's not playing passes out to throw-ins anymore and all that. He's finding his teammates. He's finding his players, and he's helping start attacks slowly. United don't have the rhythm yet to keep an attack going from a goalkeeper pass, but you can see that the intention is there from him to make something happen. And when he finds a player, in space, hoping that the team can go forward. So when it comes to the whole goalkeeping situation, whatever Luis Enrique wants to do, he can do. Spain are not winning the World Cup, and that's that. I don't care. So there you go. Rashford, firstly, congratulations on 100 Man United goals. So that's
yeah. At 25 as well, insane.
It's not that it's good, and there is obviously people are criticizing because he started at, I think 18 was his debut.
18.
So in 7 years, 100 goals. They're saying how many games is that? Oh yeah, it was blood. Well, Europa League technically first, and then you guys in the Premier League. But you know how football is. He's 18 years old. Everyone starts getting comparing to Mbappe because Mbappe was an 18-year-old that took everything by storm in this generation. And we had like Owens and your R9s beforehand that did that thing. And they're expecting him to hit numbers. And there's a lot of reasons why Rashford didn't hit many numbers on a consistent basis. It's a big conversation, but regardless, we're seeing a player now that's getting back into his confidence. He's getting back into his groove. He's taking on players more. He's in much better attacking positions. And the last 2 games, he scored 2 bullet headers. I've not seen that from Rashford. So, and what I liked about him in this game in particular was, I don't know how much you guys will agree with me here, but the weak link in that West Ham defense is Thilo Kehrer. That guy cannot defend for anything. I'm sorry, he's just not good enough. And my first comment was, if you are about this, you're going to make this guy's life a living hell. And that leap, that header, he made sure that Kehrer knew that he's dealing with something different today. It was a fantastic header. So I'm happy with the win. The only thing is that Man United there's still an uncertainty about Man United. And what people need to understand is Ten Hag's ideas are slowly getting into the team. But just like Arteta has had time, just like Klopp had a bit of time before he got his team going and his signings and all that, it's going to take some time before you see the engine really going fast. At Old Trafford, we'll continue to make mistakes. They'll continue to play players that we do not trust. I still do not trust Harry Maguire. He had a good game. Still do not trust him. But there's also players, we talk about Xhaka improving. Different arc, not the same sort of comparisons like of the redemption, but Dalot was a player that went on loans, went to Milan on loan. It was kind of up and down. He came back to United and it was like, are we going to use this guy while Bissaka was signed? He was essentially the sideman. That performance against West Ham was one of the best right-back performances I've seen in a Man United defender in years. Not right-back, defender in years. The headers that he was winning, the leaps, the timing of the headers, controlling the ball going forward, taking his time, his defensive positioning and his attacking positioning. It was complete for him that game. That was a 10 out of 10 performance for me, and that's huge for me because Dalot is someone who I have liked for a long time, but I couldn't, like, if Kevin asked me why do I like him, I couldn't give a straight answer as to why I like him. But now he's starting to show why I like him. He's improved, his levels have gone up, and he's now become untouchable in that right back position. Man United signed a £50 million right back, and he's nowhere to be seen. He's not fit. He's not injured. He's not unfit. He's just not in the running at all because as far as Ten Hag is concerned, Dalot is his right back, and Dalot has made that spot his own. So shout out to the guy, man. He's been fantastic.
There we go. Dash, you want to add anything to I think Kojo covered it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, obviously, just more on Ten Hag. Ten Hag, clearly, he's come in, and his whole ethos has just been like, if you perform, you hold your space, you'll hold your spot, and you get rewarded for it. So it's no longer, from what United have experienced, that you are just making a team based on your name. No one's got credit in the bank like that no more. So it's just like, so which breeds that competition that's needed. You know what I mean? You perform well. Casemiro's come in. I think they missed like the first 4 games or what. So it's like, you don't care if your name's Casemiro, bro. Like, when you get your chance and you can perform, then show us. I think McTominay was playing quite well for a bit, and then obviously he had like maybe one bad game. He's lost his spot. Casemiro's come in. He's shown that he can play. He's been rewarded since, and you could just see, like, man, everybody seems to be of high spirit. He's brought that into it, and football, like, man, football is like human beings, and at the end of the day, and it's all about the mentality side as well. So if you can get your players confident and playing again, we've seen that with Rashford. Rashford is definitely a confidence player, man. You can get him in the right mind frame and right mind space. He's gonna perform. He's gonna score those type of goals. We've seen Rashford score worldies. Yeah. You know what I mean? So let's not take that away from him. I know a lot of people call him Marcus Trashford and stuff like that, but it is sometimes night and day with him. Let's he doesn't really have a middle ground. Like the other day or so, Henry was clearly saying that, when you get into certain positions, you got to open up your body, you got to slot it in, and that's bread and butter kind of finishing that you should be doing. But when he's confident, he's gonna score goals, and it's just about Ten Hag obviously creating that space for these players to be performing. And once again, it's just another new manager needing to get his players so that he can bang. And then, lastly, he's dealt with the Ronaldo situation perfectly.
Perfect.
There's no other way. Like, I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, you should get rid of him." He's not stupid. You've still got Ronaldo in your team. You still need to use someone like Ronaldo for the time being. So deal with him. Get him to feel like, get him to know that, know your role. Shut your mouth a little bit. You know what I mean? And then we can keep this moving. And Ronaldo will eat humble pie a little bit because the World Cup is around the corner, so he's gonna need to play. So he's also in a hard place as well. So Ten Hag is playing his cards right with the Ronaldo situation, with the players, and no one is feeling like they've got their spot. He's come in and he's just totally just showed Maguire like, yo, man, I don't care if you're captain. The good thing about it, he hasn't stripped him of his captaincy, because you still got to manage that correctly. You can't do a Steven Gerrard where he just come and just slaps Mings, and then you know what I mean, and then you've needed to bring him back, and he doesn't have the captain's armband. So he's doing well, and man, this is clearly what Manchester United have needed: just a solid manager and doing things his way, not bringing in a manager and you're still trying to chase after the Sir Alex Ferguson, ghost of Sir Alex. You know what I mean? This is Ten Hag's way. This is how we're gonna do it. This is how we're building. It's gonna take time. Also, Manchester United fans, be patient as well, because you're not the Manchester United of old. You're not just gonna come the next season and win trebles and all that kind of stuff. And you got to bide your time. And and it's funny enough, because now we're seeing Man United fans going with this trust the process business. We told you about this process. There's a process in everything that you do. And now I can see that you are trusting Ten Hag's process. And rightfully so, man. But just be more vocal about it. Just say that you're trusting his process so that you can sound like us. You know what I mean?
That shall be that. Trust the process, Manchester United. First, trust the process. That's all Cash asked of you. Just trust the process. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining. Make sure to smash the like button and hit the subscribe if you can. Kojo, I'm going to come to you in a minute. Dash, where can they find you, sir?
Listen, man, first and foremost, I appreciate it. It's good to be speaking on Arsenal and, under
being happy. Crazy, that.
These circumstances.
Look at the smile on these faces.
Not being here and defending Arteta or defending what we're doing. But it's good to see. But yeah, once again, man, platform as per usual, you lot are doing great things, and I appreciate being on there. Yeah, man, Dashiki Dash, as you can see below, a dash of sports. That's why I give you all the hot topics and trending stories, in terms of sports news, whether it be football, you name it, man, you name it, all types of sports, boxing. Sometimes even me and Koja, we just chop it up and we talk about wrestling and stuff like, which is sports, guys, sports entertainment, guys. So yeah, man, go and find me on there, Instagram, Twitter. I'm more active on the Instagram, so I'm doing like bite-sized, short stories and stuff like that. So come check me out, man. And yeah, man, subscribe. Appreciate it.
Koja, where can they find us?
Yes, Three Midfield Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch. Also on the audios, that's Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, Three Midfield. Of course, here on YouTube, the Match Report. Type in the Match Report, you'll find us. Type in Three Midfield Podcast, you'll find us on here. But here's the Match Report. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
This has been another episode of the Match Report. Good night.